Welcome to Ford High School Weekly. I am your host, Deion Imade. We have a fantastic show for you guys today. We'll be talking with TU legend Jerry Ostroski and his son, Owen. Jerry was an All-American at TU and an 8-year veteran in the NFL with the Buffalo Bills. And it seems like his son, Owen, is on the same path. He's a standout at Holland Hall and is a very, very highly recruited player in that 2021 class. Well, let's catch up with the duo. My boy, Big O, you know him as Jerry Ostrowski, and his son, one of the top recruits in the state of Oklahoma, Owen Ostroski, doing big things over there for Holland Hall. 6'2", 243 pounds, coming off the edge, is a terror in the weight room and on the field. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that a little later. But first, let's go ahead and knock out the icebreaker, the pregame. As athletes, we both know we got to stretch it out, got to warm it up before we get into the hard, athletic activities. So let's stretch it out. Pregame warm up. Couple of questions I'll ask you, and then you guys answer. If you got a reason why, go ahead and tell me. But if not, we can keep it moving. First question's for you, Owen. All right. So, NBA basketball, which player do you prefer? Steph Curry or Kyrie Irving? And tell me why.
Kyrie, pretty much just because I'm not a Warriors fan.
How did that come about? Most people are bandwagon fans and big fans of the Warriors, or is it because of this last season's activities you don't like the losing going on?
I'm not a bandwagon, and so I'm not gonna cheer for them. I always cheer against them. There's never really been a time where I've cheered for them.
All right, Big O, you knew I was gonna come at you next. NBA. All right, let's get it. Dr. J or Magic Johnson? Who you going for?
That's easy. That's Dr. J. That was 1983, one of the best years ever in Philadelphia sports history. Philadelphia 76ers beat the Lakers and Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Cooper, whoever else you want to mention, and won the world championship. So definitely Dr. J.
All right, next, I know this is a big wrestling family. I know and when I say wrestling, I don't mean the Oklahoma State traditional wrestling background. I'm talking about WWE wrestling. So I want to present this question to you, Owen. All right, back in the day, back in my day, the big time guys was The Rock and Stephen F. Austin, Stone Cold. Okay, which one you going for?
Stone Cold, definitely.
Why is that?
He's just like all around in the ring, out of the ring, like his acting and everything. He's just so cool. His character was awesome.
Okay, all right, I feel you. All right, Big O. Now, who you going for? Ric Flair or Hulk Hogan?
That's easy. Four Horsemen. Ric Flair.
Oh, really?
I mean, you can't. The guy that talks about styling and profiling. None of this, just all this. I mean, it's funny because Owen talked about Stone Cold and his character, and like you say, it is one of the best characters ever, and some feel it is the best character ever in pro wrestling. Rick, you almost believed it. Like Rick really is that dude. Like that's how he lives. And so it's funny, and he'll tell you. He'll be the first to say, "I live that way. That's why I have about 4 wives and a bunch of problems." But no, I have to say Ric Flair over Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, and Ric Flair. I mean, dude survived a plane crash and lived. That was like before he even got popular in the wrestling thing. So he's the man. All right, last question. Going to kind of go into a musical category. Owen, on your side, social media wise, you kind of throw people off a little bit. So I didn't know where you're leaning towards. So I kind of gave you a wide variety. So I give you 2 guys. I give you Drake or I give you Jason Aldean. Who you choosing?
Jason Aldean, definitely.
Really?
Yeah, I listen to a lot. I listen to a lot of music, basically like a little bit of every genre, but country is definitely one of the main ones I listen to.
I'm more of a Sam Hunt guy myself.
I'm surprised he didn't say neither, but I guess you got to pick one of them, right?
You got to choose one. What about you, Big O? Who are you listening to back in the day?
Back in the day?
Yeah, tell me.
It was early Def Jam, man. Run DMC, LL Cool J. I was listening to the Beastie Boys. I was listening to Public Enemy. I mean, if it was Def Jam, that's what we were listening to. But I'm back from Philadelphia, so that was that Northeast sound, that East Coast sound back in the day. I had this conversation the other day with Willie Wright. We were talking about rap music, and that first group that kind of kicked it off for you. And for me, it was Run DMC. I mean, they have a song called Rock Box, and me and my buddies used to listen to that while we were playing pool down in his basement. And it was like, wow, man, these guys are rapping over real instruments. And I just kind of started it all, man.
Oh, man, that's awesome. When we come back, Jerry and Owen will tell us how they turned their garage into a weight room paradise to get them through the pandemic. Members only, though. We can see the rest of this interview with the Ostrowskis at YurView.com/OK. Ford High School Weekly will be right back. Welcome back to Ford High School Weekly. We're talking to Jerry and Owen Ostrowski. I've seen you guys keeping up with the weights and the training, trying to have a successful senior campaign. During this pandemic, it's been an unusual situation, but how have you guys stayed prepared for what's coming up in the fall?
I was fortunate enough to be at the University of Tulsa. It's where I work. And I was in these meetings and I'm listening to this stuff going on. I'm like, we're getting ready to get to a situation where we're going to be shut down. And I've got a couple of boys that need a place to work out. And I was also thinking of their friends and some other people that, maybe it's kind of like Field of Dreams. You build it, maybe they'll come, right? So we went ahead and I had some weights already down at the lake, some plates that I brought back, and I started, trading this for this and moving this for this and pedaling a little bit here and there. And then a week and a half later, all of a sudden I've got a fully functional gym in my garage. And so Owen and his brother could work out. Owen's friends, teammates came over. And I say teammates, it was a few of them because we did things correctly. We had time spaced out to when people worked out. We washed with bleach between every workout. We did our social distancing and all that the best we could. But, we ended up picking up a guy like Willie Wright who called me and just was trying to find a gym. He's like, hey, man, I just need some place to work out. Willie, of course, went to TU. He's now with the Cleveland Browns. And I said, Willie, if you don't mind working out in my garage, man, I said, you can come over here as much as you want. And so now he's a member of it. We were trying to find a name for our garage. I've got a young son who's 9. Who's really, really gifted at art. And he drew us a mascot and everything else. We've named our garage the Gorilla Garage. And we got a mascot on the wall. And that's where you come get big, man. You hit them weights, slap them weights around and get big. So
the Gorilla Garage.
Deion, if I didn't have that garage, I don't know if I'd have made it. I'm just telling you. I sit in that garage for about 10 hours a day. That's what I got.
That's awesome, man. The Gorilla Garage, man. So how does somebody get a membership? Is there a test you got to take? Is there you got to wash your hands before you enter? What's the rituals here?
Well, I think the first thing, and Owen will probably tell you, you've got to pass. The group's got to approve you. The whole group gets votes. I mean, it's kind of like once you're in, you're in. But if you leave, you can never get back. So We've got a very exclusive group of people. Deion, I could talk to the rest of the crew to see if they'd let you in.
Hey, come on. Hey, let your boy in.
I heard you're a little bit fragile, though, man. We get after it. So I know you're a little bit fragile, but we can work with
y'all. Y'all take care of me. Y'all take it easy on me. We'll
toughen you up, for sure. We'll toughen you up.
Speaking of the weight room, Owen, I mean, it's been quoted as like literally somebody wrote an absolute weight room terror. Now with everything that's gone on, and we've seen your videos on social media and Twitter. Trust me, I'm a big fan of that. I used to grow up watching, Taylor May from the safety from USC and Brian Cushion and all those guys work out in college, and I love that type of stuff. So what mentality do you take into weight?
I know I'm doing it. I need to do it to go where I want to be later in the future. Go to the next level. You're gonna have to put in the work, and so I know that's something I have to do. And if I'm gonna do it, I'm not gonna waste my time. I'm gonna put in as much effort as I can to get the most out of it while I can.
So what's those numbers looking at? I mean, I know we're not really. I don't know if I'm trying to get into privileged information here. But
That's membership. That's membership only, Deion.
I can't get a little insight on what that bench.
I told you I will talk to the guys and see if we can get you in. Then we'll let you know.
All right, I have to find out the hard way. We'll talk about Owen's college future when Ford High School Weekly continues. Check out our Ford Game of the Week Classic Tuesday and Friday nights at 8 p.m. on YurView Channel 3. And go to yourview.com/OK for complete interviews and local high school sports coverage. Welcome back to Ford High School Weekly. We're talking to Jerry and Owen Ostroski. Your older brother went to Holland Hall and you went to Holland Hall. Now, there's some guys think that the private school route is sometimes a little bit of a disadvantage during the recruiting process. But do you feel that way? And Jerry, you can chime in on this as well. Why did y'all decide to go to Holland Hall and go the private school route?
You want that one up first, Owen, or you want me to take it?
You can take it first.
Well, I'll take it, and you can build on this. The most important thing you have in your life is your mind. We've been blessed that my kids have had the opportunities that they've had to go to Holland Hall. I consider it the best educational school in the state of Oklahoma as far as primary school, middle school, and high school. And, football takes you so far. I mean, it's not something that's going to last forever. Very, very few people make it. We've talked about this all the time, but the thing that you cannot have taken away from you is your mind and how you think and how you're able to write and do math and those types of things. Holland Hall's an amazing situation, and I will do it again. I would definitely give up some of the advantages you get from playing 6A football to be able to send my kids to an educational place like Holland Hall. It's just I just don't think there's anything like it in the state.
Owen, how pose that question to you? You think it's an advantage or a disadvantage going to private school as far as football and with your education?
It's that I take it as an advantage, just because academic wise, like my dad said, it's the best place you can be in the state of Oklahoma to learn, and that takes you a lot of places because you can have all the ability in the world, but if you don't have the grades or anything, schools aren't going to want you. That's like the first thing they try to find out if school wants to recruit you is how smart you are and how your grades are and everything. And then also just the people that I'm around every day, the coaches and all the support I get and help from everybody there. I wouldn't trade that for anything.
Speaking of those classes, I know during this quarantine, there's a lot of online schooling going on. How has that been?
It's been all right. I actually, a couple weeks in, I was thinking, and I never thought I'd say it, but I miss being at school just because it's not the same when you're not with all your classmates and all your friends and everything. It's not as fun to learn when you're just doing it in your room by yourself.
I feel you on that, but I mean, speaking from experience, get used to some of those online classes, and especially in college athletics, they got us doing a lot of them just because of the practice time and the way you have to move around. So get used to it, my man. Speaking of college, Owen, you're about to embark on that journey as your senior year is coming up here pretty soon. Tell us a little bit about some of the people that are interested in you right now.
So I have offers from Army, Navy, Hawaii, New Mexico. So those are the FBS offers I have now, and then I have some FCS offers from Abilene Christian, Drake, Central Arkansas, and then some D2 offers from Central Oklahoma, Northeastern State, and Washburn University.
So, I mean, with all those offers, when you were just gonna, finalize and kind of come down to making a decision?
I'm not really gonna make any. I've talked to my dad about this quite a bit. We're not gonna decide anything until we're able to go on the campuses and visit and everything, and be able to see what that program's all about. So with all this coronavirus stuff, it's been a little difficult just because you can't do any of that. But I still have a year and a half to make a decision and know where I'm going to school. So I'm not in any hurry right now.
Well, I mean, if you do, when the time comes and you do want a safe place for you to make that announcement, the Ford High School Weekly would be graciously happy to have you.
All right, I'll keep that in mind.
All right, appreciate it. Well, guys, I want to thank you so much for joining us. It was an honor to talk with you guys. And during the season, we're going to have to catch up again, especially see what these numbers are looking like, not only in the weight room, but also on the field, Owen. So good luck with your upcoming season.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Big O, for joining us as well.
Yeah, we appreciate you. Thank you very much. The boy gets the recognition he gets because of his work ethic. So I'm proud of him.
And we're looking forward to seeing some more of that work ethic on the football field this fall. After the break, we're kicking it with Wioki. Chris Sackett will join me, and we're talking about one of my favorite subjects, high school football. Check out yourview.com/OK for more Oklahoma high school sports content. You're watching Ford High School Weekly. Well, guys, it's that same time of the week once again. My boy Chris Sackett from Wioki Credit Union here to talk to us about some high school football. Chris, another week, another segment. This week, I wanted to talk to you about just high school football and the fact that Wioki does a great job of, contributing and giving back to the community. But why do you guys, and especially you, like and love high school football?
Well, I'm a little biased. I played a little high school football way back in the day, and so it's always will have a soft spot in my heart. And it's just a good high school sports, football, whatever. I should even say high school activities. It's just some of the best memories that I had in life happened during high school sports. It's just a great team building, and it's just a great time. And I am super blessed that I got to play a little sports for the Mighty Millers out at UConn. And so Wioki likes to give back to the community and help support high school athletics.
Yeah, man, I feel you on that. It sometimes it feels like it's the only place where a whole city, a whole town can come together all at once at one time to cheer for one common goal, and that's for that team that represents your town to get a victory, and it makes everybody feel a little better about it. I mean, especially in the situation that we are right now with the pandemic. I mean, we relish in those moments where we come together and we're cheering on our team together. It's a beautiful thing, man.
Exactly. I mean, you're for a brief moment, not to sound cheesy, but you're like a hometown hero.
Yeah.
If you and I mean, UConn, we weren't the best, but for a little bit of time, it's really a great feeling, and there's nothing like it. For a brief moment, you're a hometown hero.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of heroes, I mean, it's a situation where, and we were talking about this before we got on air. Like when you're young and you're in elementary school and grade school, you see those high schoolers and those guys on the field, and they just look humongous, man. And they might as well be NFL players. They're the talk of the town. They're big guys on campus, and you look up to those people. And when you get an opportunity to take the field just like those guys did, it means a lot.
Exactly. And you know one thing, Deion, that I noticed, and I only played football my senior year, and I just noticed when you're on the sidelines, and I can imagine it's even way more at OSU like you played, the hitting. I mean, when you're on the sidelines, someone gets smacked right in front of you, you're kind of like, whoa. I mean, I was just a kicker. So, you know, those loud hits kind of like startled me a little bit more than someone like you. But it's so much louder on the sidelines. And it's kind of cool just to be, you know, kickers are a little bit of a spectator anyway. But it's just kind of fun to be there front row and just go, oh, man, that was a hit. I'm glad that wasn't me out there.
Yeah, I mean, the live action, it is a added bonus. I mean, sometimes you get a little bit of addicted to it. I mean, that's why some of the benefits in my job as being a color analysis over here for YurView is I get to be in the game, you know, not on the field, not between the white lines, but I'm on that sideline. I'm in the booth. I'm seeing the hits and the collisions take place. And man, do you miss it? Yes. And then do you miss it? No, because those things do hurt. But I mean, there's no feeling like it.
You kind of got to have your head on a swivel.
Definitely.
I mean, if you're not paying attention, you might get ran over. Even though those high school guys, you know, they're some big boys. And when you're on the sideline thinking about what you're going to say, holding the mic, going over your notes, and next thing you know, it's like they're right next to you. You got to have your head on a swivel.
I want to thank Jerry and Owen Ostroski for joining us this evening, along with my man Chris Sackert from Weoki Credit Union. Remember, go to yourview.com/OK for complete interviews on tonight's show and more high school sports content. Thank you for watching Ford High School Weekly. I'm Deion Imade. Until next time.